The secrets of the alchemist philosopher's stone. In the hollow mountain of the Bugatti Mountains. I have heard of it from other legends. Some say that there is a tunnel inside that goes in 3 directions, one of which leads to a passage that come up from under the Sphinx. Another tunnel comes up in the Giza Plateau near the Great Pyramid. The 3rd tunnel leads to a buried temple on the sands of the Persian desert in current-day Iraq. Rumor has it that these tunnels were used by Thoth the Atlantean, and the mountain was where he kept technology from his people known as the observatory. Within it was described by archaeologists to have a force field barrier blocking entrance to the main chamber. Inside were dozens of crystal data cubes that his people used to store information much like a USB drive. Also there was a station in the center that had a holographic projection display of star charts of galaxies and specific planets within them, along with a map of the world with 9 different temples marked in various places, one of which was known to have been discovered by Nikola Tesla in his early years that predated any known human structure. Also found inside was a small pile of refined dust which later became known as monatomic gold, but it had been ionized with a still as of yet to be discovered process that altered the composition of the powder. Tests of the substance showed that when applied to the cellular structure that it halted the effects of the carbon decay process. In other words, it stopped the aging process and could make a person immortal. I theorize that this may be how Thoth managed to create the emerald tablets to possess this quality, for it is said that the emerald tablets were examined and after a chemical analysis was done they showed to have the same effect of withstanding the decay of time. I guess with natural elements the effects can be permanent, because on carbon life forms this process was only temporary and the effects wore off after a time. It was also concluded that this was not the intended purpose of this substance's design, but rather a secondary use of the material. After a residual chemical sample was sent back from NASA rocket engineers and cross-referenced with samples found at various archaeological sites as well as documented crop circle sites, it was concluded that the substance known as monatomic gold dust, also referred to as the unstable chemical formula sought after during the 11th and 12th century by alchemists known as the Philosopher's Stone, as pertaining to that era only, and was the purpose of the mining of the natural gold resource from our deposits during the pre-Egyptian dynastic period, was for the use of the ignition of their craft's main engines on a standard variant of types of crafts on an interstellar range. It could even be said to go as far as to be compared to the movie depiction of Ron L. Hubbard's movie Dune and the mineral spice. Gold was the main element used once magnetically ionized through a process that would probably be similar to that which would be achieved by placing it within the Large Hadron Supercollider and promoting it into a finite powder-like crystal substance that if ingested would suspend the molecular decay of the carbon's cellular structure, as was possibly its secondary medical application of the material, as well as suspended hyperbolic stasis. However, those are just theories. Though it is for certain its primary use was the primary thruster ignition for their craft to exit the gravitational field of the planet upon launch. This was apparent because the trace residual samples sent by the engineers at NASA match identically to the samples found at 3 crop circle sites and 4 archaeological sites that display extraterrestrial presence at the site's erection thousands of years ago.